Hello. Hi. Oh, I think you're muted.
Yeah, I am. Let me lower you. Hi, ladies.
How are you?
Hi.
How cute you look.
Oh, thanks. I was streaming today.
You're echoing, so I'm not sure. Do you have two devices open?
You're on speaker, but I can do this. Hold on.
Okay. Penny Lane said she loves your hair.
Okay.
Oh, even better. Love the cat headphones. Cute.
Better?
No. Thank you for the daily heart me. Nick, can you fix yourself in the picture? We just kind of see from your nose. There you go.
Is that better? Because I see my entire self.
Oh, you too? No, yeah, I just feel like. Look at that. Can you hear the echo or you can't?
Hold on. Is that better?
Yes. Oh, we can see you.
No, I can't hear you. Hold on. I keep muting myself.
Okay. It's all
There
good.
we go.
We're good.
There
Okay.
we go. You got to bring her over to the bigger one.
Okay, I'll do that.
She's the queen. I am not the queen. I am not the star of the show. No.
Oh, please. No.
Girl, there's a reason why we took two different fields in the entertainment industry. No, ma'am.
I never looked like this on set. Never. Never.
I behind the screens, clean up the dirty mess when they're stupid.
I never wore makeup to work. The only reason why I wear makeup now is because I stream. But I never. Yeah. I never. Like, because you got to get up at 4 a.m. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that on set. I'm not. No. No. And then we got to work 14 hours. No. No.
All right, I don't know how to fix the screen.
What? Do you know how to bring her over?
No. What do I
Oh.
fix?
Probably you gotta make it the square and move her over. Keep hitting the boxes until you move her over. I can't do it.
Oh. Hang on.
Like you're moving her in the box. Right. So all the people want the tea. They're like, oh, is she gonna say who she's worked with? No, she can't do that.
No.
She's gonna say this. No, she can't do that. I'm like, have you all not heard of NDAs? Homegirl is under some serious.
No. I hear that on stream all the time. Do we know what you've worked on? Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I can't say. I would dox myself. I can't do that. I can't do that, especially now that I'm streaming for my YouTube channel, which is combining gaming and makeup design.
Ooh, no.
No, I can't dox myself like that. So
I always say that I was telling people, like, if she ever wants to, and I always say if she ever wants to go back into the industry again, or her feeling, she wouldn't be able to because no one's going to trust her. So therefore, she can't. I'm not saying that you want to, but I'm saying if you had to, God forbid, you had to go back to it, right? Over, no one's taking you back. They don't trust you.
That's an active concern I have with this podcast. That's why I keep it 100% anonymous because, and I don't market it in my district because if I do want to go back, I don't ever want people to think that I'm on their sets for tea. I want people to know about the things that are happening in the industry, and none of them are my story.
So when did you decide that obviously you like make? When did you get into makeup? Like when did you actually start really liking it? I know as little girls we always get into mom's makeup and whatnot, but when did you really get into it?
No, not even. I drew as a kid, but that's it. What's interesting is that doesn't really translate either. I did a friend's makeup when I was a teenager, when I was 16, and she cried. And I did like a little bit of like purple with her green eyes. Like I used a little bit of I used a little bit of color theory without like being aware. And she cried, and I was like, oh wow, that's really meaningful. And then at 18 years old, I was like, hey mom, can I go to beauty school? She was like, no, you're going to college. And I was like, okay.
I'll do what you say.
Okay. So I went to college, and did that. Took a while to figure out what I wanted to do because I didn't want to do psychology. I have a bachelor's in psychology, but I didn't want to do psychology. So when I was graduating, I was looking at master's degree programs, moving back to New York and being like, I'm in the field of psychology now. I don't know if I can do this for the rest of my life, because I was getting burnt out. At like 22, 23 years old, I was getting burnt out from the clients that I was seeing. So I was like, can I go to makeup school? Can I go to makeup school? And my mom was like, yeah, just you, I'll pay for it, but you can't quit.
Yeah.
Copy that. And I sat down my first day in the makeup chair, and in class, I saw my setup, and I saw the brushes, and like it was kind of like one of those whoosh moments, and I just knew. And that was it. I've never quit since until last year.
So you rolled with it, you got into it, you started doing makeup. Did you ever do makeup for like weddings, or did you just graduate and go straight into entertainment? Or what got you into like I have a friend who kind of started off with you. She went to school here, did this, did that. Then she became a nanny, and then she's like, she's always like makeup. And then she went back to school for, I don't remember what it was for, I think communications or something like that. And now she does makeup for modeling agencies. She goes to TV shows, and when they need to model and whatnot, she does that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, she didn't even do that till she was probably maybe 28 or 30-ish, give or take a few. And that's when she just really got into it. And now she's just like full floor. She's just going. She's like, I don't think I'd ever want to do TV or movies. And she's like, I would really have to think about it. She kind of likes just doing the modeling, because she really likes, with modeling and photo shoots, you can get really wild with it. Very different versus TV. Mm-hmm. She has to be very, go with what they want. Whereas she's like, bam. That's her jam. That's what she likes to do. It took her a while to figure out where she wanted to go. She, like I said, she started off with her friends, doing weddings, family and whatnot. And then one day she just took a leap for it. She's like, I'm just going to try it and just see what happens. Is that kind of like what you did?
Mm-hmm. So my story, I've done everything. I did makeup school. And then I went and I was moving back home. So New York City. Fashion. And this was on the back end of like the great makeup artists, the heyday of fashion makeup, the Pat McGraths, the Kevin Aquans. This was when right at the precipice of like book portfolios. They don't have those anymore. That's when I got in. I did it for 2 years. I was 25. I did it for 2 years. I could not pay rent. I could not pay rent to save the life out of me. In fashion, there is a ton of free work. There is a ton of trade, like picks for trade, ton of that. I couldn't pay rent. So eventually, that was the time when I was kind of like, I had my hands in multiple cookie jars, but I was mainly in fashion. Another cookie jar was weddings. I did maybe 3 of them. Was not for me. because the financial investment that you need to do weddings is a lot. Because this is before social media. So this is before, this is during the time where you had to rent a booth and wedding expos were a thing. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, back then. I got you. Okay. You're talking back then.
Yeah. So we're talking like $2,000 a booth.
Really?
No, I'm not doing that. I don't have that kind of money. No way. So
the
I did
wedding
like,
thing wasn't paying your bills.
I didn't even like really like throw in to it, but there was so much initial investment with it, which is something that people don't talk about. But again, this is before social media. So after that, I tried everything. I tried to, how much can I say here?
You could, phrase it.
Just say what you want.
I can phrase it. Okay.
Just no curse words because they'll get the live shut down.
I tried to go into the makeup for CORN industry.
Okay.
Because that was about
we call it the adult friendly.
the adult friendly industry. The problem with adult friendly industry is that all of their offices are in New York. None of their filming production houses are in New York. So the models are physically not here. They don't shoot here. So I couldn't do that. We tried to do adult friendly pole adjacent makeup, body makeup. Talk about an industry that's locked tighter with a key. Like you gotta know someone. I really wanted to get into mortuary makeup. That's really great money. However, I still might do that too. But that's really dependent on, like, you learn mortuary makeup in makeup school or mortuary school. They teach you the makeup of how to do on a live person. So not many people, unless they are personally requesting a person to come in and take care of their family member, that doesn't really happen. But when it does, it pays lots of money.
Wow.
But the interesting thing about mortuary makeup is that it's the reverse of beauty, because when someone, the pores push out and your skin, like, put foundation on plastic. You see how, like, that streaking, that's what happens. So you have to put stuff to mimic pores and then do the makeup as a beauty makeup.
Right.
Very difficult, very backwards. Color correcting, very fascinating. Very, like, horse before cart in the makeup industry. Couldn't do that. So I did a favor for a friend who needed makeup for their short film for NYU. And I was airbrushing at the time. I was taught by someone who was the creative director of Tem 2 at the time, which is an airbrush makeup company. And I loved her. She was fire. She was someone I really, really, really looked up to. And I, like everyone, would always poo-poo on an airbrush. Pew, pew. And I'm like, why? Why? It's so fast. It's so fast. It's on my face right now. Why wouldn't you want to do a face in 5 minutes? A lot of people poo-pooed on it. But it was hard. It was hard. The nuance of it is very different. I did that for film. I did that for a student film. And they loved it. And this was the time when analog transitioned to digital.
Okay.
There you go.
Yep.
And the thing with NYU is, or any student film really, is they're all graduating. They're all graduating at the same time with their masters.
Mm-hmm.
So they pass you around. They pass you around. And that's what started me in film. And that was, I was 25.
Wow.
I did it for 10 years. I did it for 10 years, and then I got into the union, and I did union for 5. I did television union for 5 years.
How long did the airbrushing last?
I did this at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Wow. No, I mean, like, how long did using airbrush last, or is it still something now? Because I feel like there's probably so many changes.
It depends. It depends. So if you get into special effects, those people are airbrushing. I'm in a little bit of a unique situation where I do special effects. So it's very much easier for me to stay in my pew and just change colors and keep going. So let's say I wanted, there's a beauty makeup, but she's got a bruise. Clean it out, go in with the bruise. It saves time. It never really caught. Temptu tried with their little, like, I'm sure everyone knows what I'm talking about, that little black, like, thing. They tried to make it compact, but what they don't realize is that, like, this is really easy to maintain. Like, it looks really scary, but it's not. It's really easy to clean. That thing, like, you got to take it apart, and it's just, they tried. They didn't work. So I don't think that it caught with consumers the way that it could. Yeah.
That's what. Yeah, that was my question, because I don't feel like, I know you said that you guys moved over to digital and the airbrush thing was working, but I feel like it didn't take off. But that's me, like, as a person looking in, like, you might be like, oh, everybody uses it all the time.
No, you know what happened? The beauty blender happened.
Yeah.
The beauty blender happened, and because it's a sponge, it absorbs most of the product. Spoiler alert, guys. You're wasting a lot of product if you use a beauty blender. It dilutes it quite a bit, and then people kind of saw themselves. I mean, everyone has seen that news anchor when they went from analog to digital, and it was like, like, everyone saw that transition, and immediately the makeup artists were like, oh, we gotta switch something up. We can't keep doing this. We can't keep doing this. So
I remember this.
Shortly thereafter, the beauty blender kind of took off, and that's in trailer. That is pretty much what is used default. Beauty blenders and brushes. Yeah, I'm the weird one. I'm the weird one.
All right, you like a little OJ in your life.
But no, I definitely don't get it twisted. I definitely get like my last boss was like, oh no, you're not going to need all of that. I get side eyes. But then when they see how fast it is, they're like,
You done?
They're like, okay, we're keeping the mouth shut. That's your word.
Yeah.
So, you were talking about that you went into TV.
Yes, I did.
But before that, for 10 years, tell us about, like, that 10-year journey, and, like, why did you switch over?
I was working towards getting into the union that whole time.
Okay, so that was your thing.
It was in like, you collect hours. So in order to become, makeup and the hair union are one of the hardest unions to get into. Hair, and I know somebody's going to correct me, I think has to be tested in something like 11 or 12 disciplines.
Wow.
Something like that. Makeup, it's like 16. So you have to show proficiency in like 16 different things in order to become accepted, on top of the hours that you submit. So you have to have, in the span of 3 years, you have to have 180 call sheets with your name on it with a makeup credit. For us, that is very difficult.
I was gonna say that's a lot. That's a lot. It's an insane amount.
It took me 10 years to get into the union. But I got in at, I missed 1 year by 16 days. And it's only once a year. You can only apply once a year. Although at some points they did twice a year, but me, it was once a year. Yeah, it took that long. It took that long. I didn't work in news. News people, like people who work for like CNN, Fox, MSNBC. I know people that work for Major League Baseball. Those people get in quite quicker. People who work in theater get in quicker. And people who work in not effect shops, but like haunted houses get in quicker because they have like they work.
Is it
Back to back to back to back to back to back. No, just they work like a lot. They like, I'm doing a movie for 18 days in film, and then I'm not working for like a month.
Okay. Where if you're working in TV, well, you're there. You're
Just gonna work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just gotta work. You know what? Can I ask you a question about the news?
Yes.
Do you think that a lot of makeup art, they don't really have makeup artists anymore, that the newscasters do it themselves?
In small towns they do, but not here. No.
Got it.
But there's a lot of how do I say this? I used to work in e-commerce for a little bit. E-commerce has significantly cut down on their makeup. Like the models do, like the pictures that you see from here down. Those girls do their own makeup, and then they retouch it.
Yeah.
A lot of those people have lost their jobs.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
So then tell us what it was like to be in the union. Like, tell us what it was like for those 5 years that you worked there.
Oh my God, it was crazy. It was crazy. But I just realized that I didn't grab a water.
Okay.
I need to grab a water because this is tea.
All right, go grab your water. Go grab it. You're good. Go grab it.
The TV industry is insane. The TV industry.
Go for it. I know. I'm with you on this one. I'm with you. Okay. I'm with you. I'll keep my mouth shut.
I don't know where to start. The TV industry is run lock and step by seniority.
That's it.
Nobody. I say it like this. I never had a chance. Between COVID, between the contract negotiations, between when I got into the union, which was 2021, between my age, because I don't know what people think. I don't know how people perceive me. They say I look young. but I had been doing it for 10 years. At that point, I was running my own departments for 10 years. That entire time, I was running my own departments. And I saw people who were grossly less qualified get opportunities ahead of me because they were older. I've seen people who have absolutely no business applying special effects makeups, none, applying special effects makeups just because they were older.
Yeah.
I never had a shot. I was on 2 TV shows, and they were linked, same people, and because of that, I had a job. But I networked so hard, and I met the most amazing people doing background, like amazing. People who were department heads of major TV shows. Nobody picked up the phone. Nobody picked up the phone. We have our team. We're good. The scarcity in the industry bred exclusivity in the job pool. I never had a chance. So I became, as best as I could, I became as agreeable, as palpable as I possibly could. I was a fly on the wall as best as I could. And it afforded me quite a few opportunities, like to assist people, but never to do the thing, do the makeup. Never mind the fact that I was doing it faster, applying it cleaner than people twice my age. And the state of the industry right now is bad. Like, the productions are leaving. Where in New York you had, I don't know, pre-COVID, probably like 20 some odd union productions. It's 4, 5 TV shows.
No opportunity.
It's bad. And like it turned people into just not themselves. Like people, you know, would network with you and kiss your and like try to manipulate you, and it was like I got so sick. I got so sick from the stress, and I am still reeling from that. I'm still reeling from that today, and hopefully we'll get it all figured out. We will get it all figured out, but I don't see myself going back, because all of the productions are pretty much in Canada. I was gonna say New Zealand, some in New Zealand, England, and Austria and Hungary. They love shooting, and Korea. They love shooting in non-union places because they can afford to abuse. I don't know if that's an allowed word. Their crew. Nobody's here. Even in Atlanta, which is the wild west of the industry because it's a right to work state, they're slowing down comparatively. The state of the industry is people do not realize how bad it is. People are losing their livelihoods. People are losing their identities. Like, so many people, like, when you come to create, when you talk about creative people, we don't have a job. We don't have a job. We have a career. We have an identity that's tied to who we are. And if we're not doing that, we're like really sad pandas. And like, you have people that have no idea, like no other skills. Like, let's talk about that for a second. Hair and makeup, like hair can go back to the salon. Worst comes to worst, you know. Special effects makeup artists, like I know a special effects makeup artist that like one of my mentors, someone who like I look up to, absolutely incredible man, worked on SNL. I'm resume longer than the CVS receipt. Driving for Uber Eats to supplement income. It's crazy.
Oh my.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And that's someone who everyone knows who he is. Like, everyone knows who he is. And if he's not getting called, nobody knows who I am. And that's what I told him. I was like, it's okay because I know, like, even the people who everyone knows, if they're struggling, nobody knows who I am. Nobody's going to give me a call.
Right.
Even if they've hired me before, it's not going to happen. And it didn't. I had an HR incident happen to me, and that was the last straw. And that's when I got like really, really sick and having panic attacks on the way to work, and like everything in my nervous system, like just. So I decided to take a little bit of a break, but I kept networking, texting, keeping in contact with these people for 6 months. I couldn't even go to work, but I still like reached out to people. We're all set. We're all set. We're all set. We're all set. And I'm talking about the shows like Law and Order, Blue Bloods, like shows like that are like mainstays. Mm-hmm. They have their teams. They have their teams. They know who they're calling, and they stay within that bubble. People started to not report to the union, so people wouldn't call them anymore because everyone was so desperate for work. People, our insurance is tied to how many days we work. I ran out last year. I ran out of healthcare. So many people have run out of healthcare. It's
crazy when you think about it, because if you worked a corporate job, or you would get paid the insurance that you're owed, regardless, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, ours is tied to how many days we work. And then once the piggy bank runs out, the piggy bank is out. That's it. That's it. And then we have something called the Entertainment Fund. I'm saying that incorrectly. But like if you are in like heaping loads of debt, they will this happened during COVID. They do like submit a bill, and they will pay it up to a certain amount, but like that only goes so far and takes a really long time logistically to like pull off. So it like it's so bad, guys. Like I can't emphasize that enough. I can say that independent feature films are seeing a little bit of a something, a little bit. but there's like maybe 6 TV shows in 3 states. So that's like New Jersey, New York, and Connecticut in that like jurisdiction. It's just not enough.
Yeah, and that's it.
Like the New England area up there that's getting it, yeah.
It's so bad. And I got so sick from the stress. I've never, like I said, I was my own boss. I ran departments. I hired people. I'd like to think I wasn't a meanie pants. But, you know, people kept coming back, so I'm going to assume not. But when I went to TV, oh my God, the level of abuses and liberties that people take to like manipulate people is, oh my God. And it all has to do with seniority. Like, I have never been manipulated more by someone twice my age in like a short amount of time. Like, I'm idealistic. I'm idealistic. I thought when I was younger that when you grew up, you grew mature.
Silly girl.
Girl, that's the funniest thing. You would think, right? You would think.
I was so wrong. Oh my God. I had someone 70 plus tattle on me for sitting in a place and reading a book and passing time.
What were you supposed to be doing?
Sitting in place on my cell phone?
Doing makeup, I guess? I don't know.
I don't know. Like, I'm an intellectual. Like, oh, you can't see it, but like my Kindle's over there. Like, makeup is such a broad department. Like, it's not just beauty, it's special effects, it's animatronics, it's 3D printing. Like, the amount of technology that's coming out right now, tied to makeup and AI and scanning and digital sculpting and 3D. It's crazy. It is crazy. You are literally, and like, school only takes you so far. It literally teaches you the ABCs and that's it. It's a job that literally requires an apprenticeship over the course of years. But nobody does it anymore. Because the production companies don't have in-house makeup anymore. The closest thing we have to that is HBO, who uses a makeup artist by the name of Barry Gower and his studio for like almost everything that they do. But in the 1960s, I believe, I could be wrong. Somebody could fact check me. The big studios like broke up in-house stuff to save money, and because of that, the Westmores, the heyday of the Westmore beauty brand, was no more. Like, they hired individual special effects houses to cut costs. But what the problem with that is, it breeds this atmosphere of everyone's teaching themselves how to do it. So there's this really steep learning curve. And then, like, anyway, I live with my nose in a book, especially while on set where there's dead time. And there's a ton of it on set. There's a ton of dead time on set.
Sure.
And I was...
The actors go have nap time. So that tells you they have their time. They have nap time.
Yes.
Night time. They do. They do have nap time. They're
yes.
call me back in 3 hours and having a nap.
Yes, they do. Sure do. That is a thing.
They do. They have nap times. I know.
Like, I would rather sit there and educate myself and further along my education because it is so difficult to get into special effects the proper way, which is a studio that is constantly working, that has multiple types of projects that do different things. And it is a male-dominated industry with almost no women. Yet every single class I've ever been to has been nothing but women. So the opportunities are like, I literally called my husband when I was in Atlanta working and going to school in makeup. I was learning advanced special effects and sculpting techniques. And I was like, if I opened a studio here, because the horror stories, which circled back to the podcast, the horror stories that I heard having to do with sexism in the effects industry were wild. And I was like, if I just opened a studio and invited like women and femme presenting people, I would have the most insane talent pool of people like in that shop. Full stop. And also another, I did a movie with the woman who played the main character of the Silent Hill movie. Now, mind you, my inspiration from like makeup has always been video games. I played games as a kid. I'm a kid of the 80s. I love video games. And I genuinely believe that the content that's coming out in video game format is better than what's on TV right now, full stop. And it has been that way for like 10 years. Because the technology is catching up. And we got to talking, and because, you know, you're with them every morning. You're with the actor every morning. And eventually, like, it came up, she was like, oh, you're a gamer? I was like, yeah. She's like, oh, I was in a movie that had to do with a video game. I was like, oh, I know. I'm just a professional. I was like, I'm not a fangirl. She was like, oh, she's like, that's interesting. She's like, where do you think? She's like, did the fans like it? And I was like, the fans loved it. And I was like, she's like, where do you think everything's going? And I was like, motion capture.
Yeah.
For actors. Because video games are not made anymore. They're acted.
Yeah.
And that's not this podcast, but that is my other YouTube channel, bringing that together. But this podcast is my gift to the future generation, giving a space to people that can anonymously write in. We have a subreddit because I don't know. I highly recommend the Instagram account, IA Stories. Because during the contract negotiations of 2022, around there was a couple of them. You had all of these anonymous submissions of these absolutely positively horror stories having to do with production and how production takes advantage of their crew members. Full stop. And like some of them, like one of
It's true.
One of them I featured on my podcast because it had to do with a makeup artist being put in a barn to breastfeed, which is not legal. That is like so against the rules for breastfeeding mothers. They put her with no power in a barn, and she had to breastfeed in a barn while on set, while working for 14 hours. Like that I think that was on the second episode of my podcast. But I wanted to give a space, and I knew I was onto something, and it's brand new. It's brand new. I knew I was onto something when people in the DMs and like low-key were like, this is exactly what we need. We need visibility. We need people talking about this. And
it's very true. They feel like they want to talk, but they can't talk because they're afraid.
Fear of retribution.
Fear of retribution. And there were times where we would get somebody that would post something on their social media page, and we'd have to quickly remove it because we knew this person was mad about something. We're like, dude, if you do that, you're done. We're like, we understand.
You're never going to call again.
You're like, you can vent. Just go vent to your friends. Go vent to your family. Go vent somewhere. Make a post on something that's not even tied to you. Just don't do it here, please. We're begging you. Yeah. So yeah, I'm glad that you have it because so many people in the industry, they do need to vent. I mean, and it's whether you're the actor, you're the lighting director, you're the makeup artist, the hair, the whatever it is, everybody's got something to complain about, and it's not all roses, like, oh yay. No, people, like, you hear all these people, they're like so excited, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna go work on a set. That's great, and I want you to follow your dreams, but you need to understand
I love that.
Yes, and I will never, and I'm always like, good, go for it, follow your dreams, but you need to understand there's a whole nother side. You need to be ready for the crap show that you could potentially run into. It's not all roses and candy. It's not. Yeah. And like, if you think that way, even the normal day-to-day life at work is not all that. Every job you go into is worse, and some, unfortunately, are worse than others.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's like, I knew I was onto something when people like low-key were like, we need this, but then people to my face that I told the idea to, and that was 2 people. That's it.
Yep.
Who were older union members. And that's when I was like, I'm not going to say anything, and I'm not going to market this in my network. But if this blows up from the outside in, it's not going to matter. But literally, people told me to get a lawyer, to be do something else. he was like, I really think you should talk about something else. How about this? How about no? How about no? Because like,
don't be silent.
On top of the fact that I spent 5 years in an industry being palpable, I'm not doing that anymore because I'm not that person. I never was. And that's what I say about streaming, like being online and playing these video games that have amazing makeup design. I get to be unapologetically me. Am I obnoxious? Yes. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Would I ever act like that on set? No, I wouldn't. Don't even think about it. Like you literally, like it is the toxicness of be seen, not heard. And I'm not trying to go to a set being like, you should do this and blah, blah, blah. No. But when someone who is twice my age is trying to manipulate a situation so I don't get a job on the next TV show, and I can't speak out about that, or when like they rip me a new one in front of Video Village, I can't defend myself in that moment. or like any of the number of other abuses that I went through, or even my HR incident that had literally nothing to do with me. I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. I existed in the space I was supposed to exist at the time that I was supposed to exist in it. And someone who was twice my age came up behind me and screamed so loudly that 200 background, 10 makeup artists, and a whole department of wardrobe turned around and faced us because I didn't give him my attention because I needed to tell someone to stand right here. That's it. I'm not sugarcoating it. That is literally what happened. Guess who got their hours cut?
You.
Guess who still works there?
Them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shit like that happens all of the time. And like a friend of mine who's in costume design, when I was, thinking all of this up, how was I going to do it? I've never podcasted before. I don't know what this is. She was like, what's the point? And I was like, if I would have gotten into the union and like known some of this stuff, I would have been able to know that I wasn't alone and that I could keep going and I could have the reaction of water off a duck's back. But except I was brand new to an industry that was real hungry for a snack. And I don't want to make waves. I don't want to make waves. I'm not like, I spoke to my union's president and they flat out said, you have a case. You have a case. 100%. You have a case. And I was like, my body can't do it. I can't do that. I can't keep doing this. I can't keep doing this. I'm very, very, very sick. I'm very sick. But I told her, I was like, I would have had it like water off a duck's back, and I would have had the strength to keep going if I would have had this back then. I would have known that older people in the industry are trying real hard to maintain their positions of power. Yeah, and it's not just me, like even within certain certain, how do you say, like factions, that's the power dynamic. That's the power dynamic. Like the young guard is not allowed to speak, like at all. Here's the interesting thing about the demographic, particularly here. We had a huge influx of people that came from news due to mass layoffs at a particular organization. So they all, and we have a lot of people join the union from the fashion industry too, because they realize that fashion is not sustainable and they don't have pensions. They don't have like annuity funds. They don't have any of that. So then they join the union and they get in with very well-known makeup artists get in with name. And then you have all of these older individuals who worked in news, who worked in fashion, that have no idea how to apply a bald cap. That's a problem. That's a big problem.
Yeah.
Or, like, in my case, we had a person who was in the fashion industry, and I'm only allowed to exist in the space. I'm not being facetious when I say that. Like, literally, I have been told to stand there in case you're needed. So I have to stand and watch someone who did, like, magazine covers and is super well known in their own right give a chemical burn to a darker skinned individual. And because they're darker skinned, in conjunction with the fact that the person doing the removal had never done that before, they didn't know what they were looking at. And then I have an actor where I'm just like lotioning and wiping because that's the plebe job. They're like, what is this? And they're like, oh, just put some Neosporin on it. And I'm like, hold on a second. And it's a chemical burn. It's a chemical burn. What are we doing, guys?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? I understand that I look a certain age, but I've been doing this for 10 years, running my own departments. I had people on my TV show, and this is not a flex. Oh my God, this is not a flex. Like, I had people on my TV show that were around my age. They'll come up to me and be like, I looked you up. You have 25 credits under your name. And I'm like, yeah. You did that many movies? Yeah. Why? Why aren't you doing that application? I don't know. And it was that, like, left and right, left and right, left and right. And it, like, I get it. And I was very, very, very gentle and empathetic to, because, I mean, if you think about it, I mean, that kind of sucks. Like, if you're on the back end of a career, like, yeah, that kind of sucks. So, like, you know, care was given, and, like, the chair was pulled out so they could sit down, metaphorically speaking. And, like, the advantage that people took of that, and the expectation that they did because I was a particular age of being treated that way was gross. It was gross. It was gross. I had never in my life, in working in psychology, and, like, even I went to cosmetology school at night because I'm a masochist, because I wanted to learn how to haircut, like, cut my actor's hair. Beauty school wasn't even that bad. And beauty school is the worst. Like, oh. Like, the cat, I mean, beauty school is its own bag of worms, but, like, not doesn't even come close. It's wild. And I'm not sitting here being like, you need to not do this. And I say that in my podcast. I would never tell someone not to do this job. Because on the flip side of all of this are people that are absolutely, positively live, breathe, dream, eat this job. Literally. I would never say don't do that. But I will be like, hey, this stuff happens. Just be on the lookout. And that's what the podcast is. Point blank period.
What do you think about the kids that are like going to college now and want to major in this, and you're saying what you're saying is that like there's no place for new people or new kids, like there's no jobs. Like, are they being told that? Are they being warned?
No, I'm the only crazy person that has the balls to say it. But again, I would never not tell someone to do this. I would say diversify and don't put your eggs in the film and TV basket. If you want to learn prosthetics, go into medical prosthetics. It's literally the same exact thing, and it pays a like, go into there's medical prosthetics, there is prosthetics for for doctors to practice on.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole the name's not coming to me. There's a whole genre of it. There's that, plenty of that, and just go about it in a way that's financially responsible. That's it. Like, do it, but like, go to like a Fidelity. Go get an IRA. Do it like a grown-up job. And like, put away that money and just diversify. Because the film and TV basket is like, the opportunities are this big in this country. Be willing to travel. But like, even the traveling part, let's talk about that. Even the traveling part, because I totally saw myself traveling all over the world doing work makeup for Lord of the Rings, and like that never happened. The traveling part. Just be very abundantly aware that Canada, as an American, will not hire you. They will not hire you. They are fiercely protective of their union people. They will give their jobs to Canadians first, full stop. Do not go to Canada expecting to get a job or break into that industry. Like, unless you are invited, I would not say go do it.
You're 100% right. They and rightfully so. And rightfully so, they want to make sure that their people have jobs so that they can survive, so they're not on government assistance. And 100%. So don't go there thinking you're going to get it, because they're gonna take their people first, and rightfully so. They have every right to.
Yeah. I would say, just make sure that you are diversified. Make sure you're constantly studying. There's no such thing. This is a massive misconception. There's no such thing as a makeup certification. It does not exist. People say that with words to make money on the education of makeup, because it is such a large branch, a large field, that you can segment, cherry pick, and be like, I'm teaching sanitation practices. Be certified. There's like, I have a cosmetology license. That's a certification. There's nothing that exists for makeup. Like, you can have all of the sanitation, certifications you want, but you have to pay for them. The makeup certifications, you have to pay for them. And like, that is another thing that gets like under my skin. Education, especially makeup education, should be free, because it is an apprentice type job. It should be free. But people, because of the breeding of the, scarcity of the industry, people are like, how can I make $1? I'm going to prey on people who don't know any better. Here I go. I'm going to make a class on how to department head. What? What? That is insane. I would give out my templates for nothing if somebody asked. Like, it's makeup school. Again, we'll teach you ABCs. That will steep the learning curve. But after that, for the love of God, knock on doors as much as humanly possible on special effects shops and go get your education. Go work in film. Go do student film. Don't get stuck in the rut of education, because nobody can teach you about how to handle an actor that goes to the bathroom and changes their lipstick color.
No. You're like, oh, okay.
You're like, that's cool, but that's not that's not in the script, honey.
But that is such a skill and a nuanced thing that you have to tiptoe around. That is a genuine skill to have on set. To navigate people, manage, I worked in background. So, I ran background. Talking to 200 people and, wrangling 200 people, that's a skill. That's a skill. Go and do it. But do it in a way that, is like a grown-up. So, you're not, if you started in fashion and you love fashion and you never want to do anything other than fashion, you have an IRA. You have some sort of, protection financially. That's what I would say. But never not do it. Everyone should do it.
100%. So, if somebody wanted, let's say they're into makeup, they love makeup, they're like, hey, I think I want to attempt to maybe get into the industry. Where would they start? I know, but I'm not going to answer this question. Where would they start? As in, who would they contact? Do they have to give out resumes? I'm playing stupid here, so bear with me. What would they do?
So it depends on, I would say first educate yourself on the different departments of makeup. So you have fashion, you have wedding, you have TV and film, you have effects, you have animatronics, you have, and every single one of those subsections have a different answer. So let's pretend beauty. I want to learn how to do beauty makeup. Great, love that for you. Go at a makeup counter and do 100 faces. Learn the difference between hold on. This is a great. Learn the difference between this and how to color correct. You know what I mean? Learn photography, learn lighting, learn work at Mac. Their foundation's oxidized. So you have to, that is a steep learning curve with, that's a hot take. Do faces. Do the thing. And that's fashion, because we live in a world, you know what's amazing? Social media. Social media is great. You don't have to have a physical book where you have to book a photographer, a model, and you have to go on Model Mayhem. I know you know what I'm talking about. And book a model and talk to agencies, and you don't really technically have to do any of that. Really, you grab a model. Well, you do have to grab a model. Grab a model, find one on Model Mayhem or find one on Instagram. Do their makeup, put them by a window, and take a beautiful picture with your iPhone. Put in your portfolio. And the unfortunate thing about the fashion industry now, which sucks, is get lots of followers. because makeup brands don't even want to look at you if you have less than 5,000. I'm making up a number. Please do not Bible me on that. I am making up a number. But if you want to be like brand influencer and you want to do fashion and whatever, you got to get those numbers up. If you want to do film, that's completely different. That's a completely different story. Yeah, obviously, do a beauty makeup. But then enroll in something like Stan Winston is an online school that is taught by professional makeup artists. That like Stranger Things, Jurassic Park. Stan Winston was the makeup prosthetic designer behind Jurassic Park and a slew of other movies. His son runs an online school, and literally they do like it's a subscription. I think it's like if you get it on Halloween, you can get it for half off. But let's say it's I don't know, it's like $60 for an entire year of like endless special effects classes, and you go buy the thing and you do the thing. Like my stream, not the Makeup is Hard podcast, but my stream is going to, on Makeup Mondays, I'm going to start top-down sculpting on camera. Like, just do the thing, buy the thing, do the thing, and just, like, reduce that learning curve.
What a great idea.
I mean, what else? What other subsection, like, permanent makeup? I mean, that's estheticians. Like, just understand where your avenue is. I wasted a lot of time figuring out, like, what my avenue was going to be. And then the deeper that I got into it was, oh, there's another avenue. oh, that's an avenue too. Well, maybe I want to do that avenue. Learn about the different avenues. Pick one. And go.
Go for it, yeah.
And just do the thing. Just do the thing. Just do the thing. Don't pay for it either. Don't. I've spent thousands of dollars getting swindled by these really fancy special effects artists that were out of work and not working for like Stranger Things or whatever effects show is out now. Resident Alien is another one, but that shoots in Canada. But like, there are so many people that will a la carte the education. Please just teach yourself. Teach yourself. Here's a great story. Here's a great story of someone who actually made it who was young. Young. This doesn't happen anymore in New York. But there is a trade show called IMATS. I don't think he's in New York anymore. I have to double check if it's still a thing. There was this person, a young kid, I'm talking like 18 years old. And he went to IMATS with a silicone skin. And what he did was did some hair punching. And at IMATS, you have guest speakers, you have department heads, you have everyone who's who in makeup at the time at an IMATS. And he literally went up to like the department head of SNL, the hair department head of SNL. They were both there at the same time. Pretty sure Barry Gower was there that year. And was like, can you look at my stuff and can you tell me if it's good? And then he remembered names. And that kid at like 18, 19 years old got into an effects studio. And I can't tell you what he has worked on since then. But it is big shit. Poo.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Working on in the mold making department specifically, and got in, and they got him, and they didn't let him go. And
there we are. The rest is history.
The rest is history. So, like, A, don't be afraid to talk to people. B, like, just do your thing, do the thing. Like, I was kind of forced into retirement due to health issues. I still theoretically could go back. What am I doing? I started a YouTube channel. I started this podcast, and I started a YouTube channel that combines my passion, because now it's time to, live for me. And I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to give myself the opportunities that I never had. So what am I doing? I have a YouTube channel that combines gaming and makeup design, where I do a makeup tutorial, special effects, or beauty, inspired by the game or featured in the game. And then you get to watch gameplay, because the stories are so good in gaming right now that they are better than what is on TV, and definitely film. Like, just do the thing. If I ever go back to the industry, look, I have an entire YouTube portfolio of like special effects makeups.
Yep.
That I can show, and that what I have been doing since, just do the thing. That's all.
Yep.
It goes really far, and it's kind of silly, and it feels kind of silly if you do hair and makeup, but it oh my god, it really goes far. Get some headshots.
Yeah, get those headshots.
And my headshots were done by a friend of mine who does headshot photography, and like there's so many people that you're going to meet in the industry that do the thing. You're going to meet so many photographers, you're going to meet so many models, you're going to meet so many actors. Like I had help with this, like my lighting, my lighting design, and like all of my this I had help from friends. Pull those cards. You're going to meet amazing people. Get the headshots. They're so chic. They're so chic, and they're so clean, and they make you look so good. And like, be on your IMDb. Like, make sure that that's, have a website, because if you actually want to be taken seriously, in the film industry, you have to have a website. Point blank, period. Nobody gives a about followers in the film industry. I'm telling you that right now. I could care less if you have 10,000, 20,000 followers on a film set. Do you have set etiquette? Also, another really a big thing, if you're going to get into film, learn about set etiquette, for the love of God. Learn and be and hold yourself to a certain standard when it comes to set etiquette. Because that, I don't care. I don't care who and how good you are, and I don't care if you are the person who went up to the SNL makeup artist with their punched hair. If you don't have proper set etiquette, you will not get called back.
Very true.
If you blur lines with actors, you will not get called back. I was in film for 10 years. I was the boss who hired people. And you bet your booty that I was looking at who and how you acted on set, because that is a direct reflection of your department head.
Yeah, it's true.
I had someone who sat on an actor's lap, and I never called them again. Like, for the love of God, if you're going to get into film, if you're going to get into TV, learn about set etiquette. There's books about it. Learn how to assist. There are books about it. I will send you a reading list if you like, so you can feature like, oh my God, and headshots. I say those two things, and that really makes you stick out in film. It really does. More so than sheer talent. More so than what's on your portfolio. Because you can be taught. You're going to be taught anyway. You're going to be taught anyway. Because there's a look. Like, there's a look dictated by the script that is extremely, like, there's no creativity there. Like, you have to, like, if someone has a black eye, and I did the black eye the day before, and I have someone else to do, you have to do the black eye exactly the same. Exactly the same. Mm-hmm. Because of continuity. So, in that regard, there is no creativity. You have to copy paste. So, that skill is less important than your professional look. Like, this is my default. A black turtleneck. Yes, I wear colorful hair because I absolutely refuse to be held down by the man. And I am not doing my hair. I'm not doing my Puerto Rican curly hair at 3:30 in the morning. No, ma'am, you cannot pay me enough money. I'm going to work looking fabulous with no makeup on. But I have been given so many opportunities because I looked clean and I was unassuming and I didn't speak. I was in rooms with directors. I was in rooms with... I was in rooms.
Yep, we got you.
And I was trusted to be in those rooms. So, yeah, just...
And those rooms hold a lot of tea. Mm-hmm. A lot of tea. A lot of things you can't talk about because it talks about maybe the next set, what's going on in the next scene, or let's bring this person in, or maybe it talks about the drama that happened on, or maybe you're the makeup artist for an intimate scene where it's, a closed set, and those you cannot literally say a dang word. Those are like tighter than watching the boxing scene. I mean, those scenes, as you know, are the...
I wasn't allowed in. I wasn't allowed in. Like, I worked with a production company who did can't name them, but did a lot of intimacy coordinators. Every single movie we had them. You touch, final. You're not in that room. You're not in that room, and the only people that are allowed to monitor are director, script supervisor, and DP. That's it.
Yep.
Nobody else is allowed.
Yeah, but I'm just saying though that those, even when you're in, they're talking about what, do they want you to do makeup? Do they want to make sure the tattoo, if this person's having a tattoo, you have to be in there for those things, but you can't talk about that because now you're talking about, we got to put a birthmark or a tattoo on certain person's body part or this or that, or, we're very quiet.
Like that. It's very interesting because there's two people that know what I'm doing because I'm trying to get, Makeup is Hard podcast. I have my reasons as to why I don't have that in my demographic. Plus it's elevating other people's voices. But for the gaming content, I have two people that know what I'm doing. And they're like, Weenie, you're so much fun. And I'm like, yes, because I wasn't. You're not allowed to act like yourself on set. Like, that wasn't me. They're like, oh, I love this. And I'm like, I love that you love this. Let's have some fun. Yes.
Why not? So at the end of the day, guys, what she's basically saying, if you want to get into the industry that she's in or the entertainment industry in general, you need to look at it as, if this was you, Would you want that out there, right? No. So when you're making your portfolio, you need to make it as clean as possible. You need to make it good, and you need to work your butt off. And at the end of the day, don't be afraid to reach out to that person. You're like, oh, this person is a makeup artist, the head makeup artist for Jurassic Park, or maybe, you know, this movie or that movie. Don't be afraid to reach out. If someone says, oh, they're not going to want you, just throw it out, because you don't know. They might open up that one email. They get thousands of emails. I'm not even lying to you. They get thousands of emails, right? But you might be that one email that they open up and go, oh dear God, what is this? Yes, yes. Bring this person in. Call this person. They're going to tell their people. Call this. Email them. Go to their house. Go and find them. We want them. So at the end of the day, don't be afraid to reach out. And then when you get that opportunity, like she was saying, be respectful. Keep your mouth shut. Do what they ask you to do, because if you do what they ask you to do, you're going to build that. You're going to build trust, right? And they're going to want you back. It's not all candies and roses, guys. It's you're going to have your crappy days. You're going to have your good days. You are working. If you get in the entertainment in movies or TVs or films or theaters, they're going to ask you to keep your mouth shut. Is it the hardest thing in the entire world to not want to go home and say, honey, oh my gosh. Yes. Ask her how many times she wasn't allowed to go home and tell him these things. It is extremely hard, but by you keeping your mouth shut and knowing you had to sign that NDA and it doesn't get leaked by you, you get called back. And like she says, don't sit on the actor's lap or this person's lap. I remember watching or listening to, I don't remember who it was. There was an actor who started a relationship with, I think somebody in lighting or something like that. I don't remember who it was. It was a while ago, but they kept that relationship very private. And I think only two people in the entire thing knew who it was. But that they didn't cross lines on set, kept it very respectful. And it wasn't when they had the wrap party a year later or whatever it was, they came out, we have been a couple for this long. People are like, really? Because they knew, because one, the lighting director is just a lighting director, but he was dealing with an A-lister, and there's an A-lister and a lighting director. There are two different things. A-lister is going to get called back. The lighting director is going to get some packing. That's just how it's going to be. So they were very, very cautious on how they handled that relationship. That couple is still together to this day. I know she's probably going to figure it out. They're still together to this day. They're married. They've got kids. And why? Because of how they handled that. They were very secretive. They kept that relationship under the tightest wraps. It was like Fort Knox.
The most successful, I don't want to say the most successful relationships, but you will not get called back.
You won't.
You will not. You want to can your career, because people talk too. You want to can your career yesterday. PDA on set. Just PDA on set. Also, what I didn't really touch on earlier is something else that really will get you canned very fast. It is hard to be an assistant, because ego is a thing. We are human. We are human. But literally, when it comes to makeup, the thing that is the most important, full stop, is the look and the continuity of the look. I have not called somebody back for using their creativity on a lace piece sideburn. A lace piece sideburn. They colored it too liberally, and they were like, I filled it in. And I was like, the instructions were to fill in this part. They filled in the whole thing. And it looked so harsh, because back then you took flashed photos to see what things were doing before, not even sending them to set. And it looked so dark. You cannot, for the love of God, please do not take it personal. It is not about your creativity at work. It is about duplicating the look to a T. Full stop. Full stop. I don't care if you think that this looks better. You are not the director. You are not the department head. It is not up to you.
Nope.
You do not get to flex your create. That is not the time to flex your creativity. You will not get called back.
Yep, you have to market like and even if you think your way is going to be better than what they have, you have to understand that they've got the creative imagination. This is their baby. Yep. They're putting their name on it. You're just the little person somewhere down in the credits. At the end of the day, their name is on this. So it's all about how it looks good. Does it get nominated for an Emmy, a SAG award, a BAFTA award, this award, that award? Their name gets, and if it looks good and they get these awards, or maybe because it's so good, it's like, oh, the makeup department is getting an award. You were a part of that. Why? Because you listened to what the director asked you to do. Or the writer.
Absolutely.
When the writers are writing, they're like, little Sally had red lipstick on, but she had a bruise on here. And it's very specific here. You can't put it down here. It has to be here. Or it has to be a light. It has to be a light bruise. And you go dark. Oh, it's going to look better if it's more of this. That's not what they want. There's a vision and there's a reason why they have it. It's because at the end of the day, it's their baby. If you want to have it, if you want to do this way, go write a damn movie. Write it yourself and how you want it.
Right. The problem is, it's not about ego. Even on the department head side, even on the department side, my side, it's not about ego. I'll tell you a story. I did a movie that was a part 2. They already did a movie. I did a part 2, and the part 1 had its own department head. And that department head left no notes, left no pictures. I was writing blind. I was getting my continuity pictures from doing freeze frames on my computer. I had to copy the most atrocious tattoo I've ever seen in my life and still put my name on that movie. It looked like Sharpie. It looked like Sharpie. And because it was already established, I had to follow that. If I had someone come in and day play and say, well, I want this looks better like this, I know that. I'm agreeing with you. But because this movie has a huge cult following, we have to copy the shitty tattoo. Ego is ego. All ego has to be checked at the door. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter who you are. If you are working in film and TV, all ego has to get checked at the door. I don't care. I don't care who you are.
No, it's true. Even, no matter what, even if you're in PR and you're in PR, you're in social media management, whatever it is literally the same thing. You know what you want, but at the end of the day, you don't have that option. You're working for the actor. You can say, no, I'm not doing this, but they're wanting to do it. Guess what you're doing? You're going to clean up their mess. You're the babysitter. You got to go wipe their tushy. It sucks. I'm not going to lie to you. It sucks, but it's like, you're like, okay, here we go. Round 2. Welcome to our life. Here we go. Yay.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a couple questions, actually.
Go for it. I was just going to say, does Chad have any questions? I'm so here. I'm so here for you guys.
I wrote down a couple.
Okay.
So how does that new facility in New Jersey, the Netflix facility, does that create anything? Because it might not. People might just
productions have to book it.
The what?
The productions have to book it.
So it doesn't really create anything, even though it's
no. The productions have to book it.
Yeah.
It's not there's so many getting built. There's so many getting built. There's in New Mexico, in Newark. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Bayonne. Bayonne's just a hop, skip, and a jump. We love Bayonne.
Yeah.
If the productions aren't booking it,
it doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't mean anything.
Now, what about like streaming services in general?
They destroyed the industry.
Because you were talking before about like
They're the reason.
yeah, you were talking about television at one point.
Yeah.
And you were talking about how you know, the effects on TV and the camera lenses changed and all that kind of jazz. And then you went into kind of like TV shows, which really kind of don't exist anymore, or as much.
Yeah. The only production company that I feel has respect is HBO. That's it. In my opinion. Streaming services came in the game, redefined it, and destroyed it. Like the film industry and the TV industry, let's say that. The TV industry was Blockbuster. And then Netflix came in. And people were like, mail-in CDs? What? That's stupid. Just you wait. They literally reinvented cable. We've come full circle.
Yeah.
Like everyone and their mother has 10 subscriptions, and now here we are paying $250 a month for cable. They redefined it and destroyed it.
Yeah, yeah.
And what a major hand in that is that Netflix was under no obligation to disclose their numbers. So when the AMPTP was negotiating, nobody really knew like what they were negotiating against. And even if they did, it wouldn't have budged enough. Because now, I mean, this is like 2015. This was
yeah.
like I wasn't in the game. I wasn't in a fly on the wall during contract negotiations, because you know you can go to your union hall and it's just listen and just, you know, be nosy. Like that's you know, totally fine. But like they didn't show their hand. They negotiated the numbers to their favor, but nobody knew what the numbers were. And then the next contract negotiation was the language of AI.
That was my other question. Go ahead.
And the writer's strike made the fissure. And the SAG strike cracked the bone open. So, what I heard, because I'm not in the industry anymore, I'm not in the union hall being a nosy Nancy, and I haven't been for about 8-9 months. But after speaking with my friend, he was like, they're writing scripts differently. They're writing scripts so they don't have large background days because the writers got a raise. And because the writers got a raise, the money has to come from somewhere. So it's coming from background. And what people don't know is that when you work in background, that's 3 departments out of jobs. That's wardrobe, hair, and makeup. So they're writing in scenes that just have less background in them. And then when the producers are negotiating with the department heads, hey, you're just going to have 2 to 3 man days where you can hire a crew to do background, and there'll be 10 background days. Let's say, just, arbitrarily. What? That money is going to the writers. So the producers are not going to take a pay cut. They never take a pay cut. They've never taken a pay cut. There have been concessions made since like the 80s. Like we had, I think it was like 56 hours. Nobody quote me on this because I'm not of that age bracket. But like there were like 56-hour minimum weekends, time off, and our unions negotiated that out to make other concessions to the AMPTP. So we lost weekends. We had weekends. We lost weekends.
Wow.
So now we have what are called Fraturdays, where Fraturdays will, for those of you who don't know, makeup, hair, wardrobe. I talk about this on the podcast all the time. We show up first. Technically wardrobe. It's the earliest. We have to get the actors ready. SAG, a crew day is 12 hours for crew. We are not included in that because we have to get the actors ready. So crew, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. That doesn't sound too bad, right? Cool. We have to get the actors ready. I'll say it 1,000 times. We have to be there at 5. So I'm getting up at 3:30, 4 o'clock to drive to set, to work for 2 hours, and then people are coming in to set. People are coming in. And then we're working until 7 p.m. So at the end of a week, usually they will schedule the night shots towards the end. And Friday, let's say, and they have to start the workday a certain time after the last one ends, as per contract. So by Friday, call time will be like 10, 11 a.m. because you push like 30 minutes on Monday, you push 30 minutes on Tuesday, you push another 30 minutes on Wednesday. By Friday, you were walking into set at 10 a.m. And then you're working for 12 hours, 10 p.m. But then production will be like, oh, we'll just pay overtime. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. So then they'll wrap at, let's say, midnight, right? I'm there since 8 a.m. I'm leaving at midnight. I don't get home till, let's say, 1 a.m., right? I'm getting up at noon. It bleeds into Saturday. That's why they call it Friday into Saturday. They call it Fraturday. And then I have to reset my internal clock for getting up at 3:30 in the morning on Monday for a 7 a.m. call time.
Crazy.
It is rough. It is so rough. That's every day. That's every TV show every day for 8 months straight. That's something else they don't talk about. TV shows last for 8 months. You have to be so physically fit to put your body through a 14-hour workday for 5 days straight for 8 months.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
You know what? We had someone ask, and she's got to pop off. So I wanted to know if I could ask her a question. She wanted to know if you've ever won any awards or nominated for any awards.
No, not that cool. You know what? No. So here's the thing with that. They're bullshit. They're bullshit. So it's luck. Because let's say I work. What's a soap opera that doesn't exist anymore?
Guiding Light.
Guiding Light. Let's say I work on Guiding Light, right? Guiding Light. It takes for an episode 2.5 weeks to shoot an episode, right? I mean, soap operas were a lot faster, but let's pretend. I'm only needed Monday, Wednesday, Friday. There's background, right? I come in on the second episode. The first one wins the Emmy. I don't get the Emmy. I worked on the show. Doesn't matter. The first one gets the Emmy. Every single person on that credit list gets the Emmy. Not the team. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's per episode. So if I worked on that episode, then I get the Emmy. If I worked in trailer, I would get the Emmy. I never worked in trailer. There's only 3 positions in trailer. That's the department head, that's the key, and that's the third. Department head makes all the decisions and meetings with production, like the directors and stuff like that. The key does all of the paperwork and hiring of the teams and the people, and it's a lot of office stuff. The third takes care of the continuity of the show. If you are not one of those 3 people, if you are working on a TV show, you are not credited in the credits.
Wow.
But if your episode wins an Emmy and you worked on that background, you get the Emmy. So it's luck. And no, I don't have an award. It wouldn't matter if I did. It wouldn't matter if I did.
So I have a UK person that's got to go to bed soon, so they have a question for you, and then we're
going
to let them. It's like 2 a.m. for them.
I know.
The question is, what is your favorite brand of makeup and least favorite?
Foundation?
They just said makeup. It says, what is your favorite brand of makeup and least favorite?
I don't like MAC foundations because they oxidize. Fight me. And I use this and this. Pardon, it's dirty. It's used. It's Temp 2 silicone base. I like any makeup that is silicone. Silicone sits on top of skin. I have PCOS. I have a lot of acne. And while, I mean, this lighting's kind of crap for not highlighting my acne, but I know how to change that. Can they be more specific as to for what? Like fashion, Tom Ford. Like this is a $90 stick. I don't care. I don't care. Tom Ford for fashion, for photography is amazing. I can't name drop who uses this, but I'm telling you that very prominent makeup artist that I have assisted use this. This is a $90 stick. Photography, this all day, every day.
They're saying foundation. They said, let's say foundation.
Copy that. Yeah. Temp 2 silicone base. What's amazing? It Cosmetics CC cream through an airbrush gun. Heaven. Oh my God, heaven. When I discovered that, I'm constantly like, as far as like mixing and seeing what goes through a airbrush pew pew. Always. Like I am unplugged. Hold on. I know you got to go to bed. London, you got to go to bed. This is a mixing medium from Temp 2. This is a silicone base with no pigment in it. I'm constantly putting stick foundations in this and to see if it separates and to see if it. I use silicone based foundation. So Armani is great. Temp 2 is great. Graftobian is good. That a lot of people use Graftobian. In TV and film, it's tried and true. TV and film is not fancy. It's not fancy. Like those theater brands, they love that shit. They love that stuff. And it's just not fancy. Like you hear people all of the time swapping like cheaper foundations in expensive bottles for actors because that matters to them. But I'm telling you, oh my God, Maybelline Fit Me. Maybelline Fit Me, I don't know if it is in your drugstores over there. That's another silicone base that's like, CoverGirl Color Stay. That's another silicone base. Silicone sticks to itself and doesn't sink into your skin. So it looks great when it's airbrushed. I'm an airbrusher. But I mean, if what I did looked so very different than a hand application, I would literally be out of a job. So you can apply these with like beauty blenders, and like it's fine. It's fine.
It's not going to soak in beauty blender.
Same. I mean, it will. You'll lose more product.
I took notes from earlier today.
You will lose more product, but you can apply it. You're just gonna have to buy it again. What else? I'm trying to think. Different thing. Like you come on, you get approached with very different situations. Like I had one actor who was allergic to alcohol, and he had a full prosthetic. And if you know anything about prosthetics, you know they're painted with alcohol paints, and which are activated by 99% alcohol. So we had to run and beg the makeup supply store not to close on us and have a PA run out and get a water-based color. Like you need a little bit of everything because they all work for different reasons. But as far as foundation, almost like silicone based, and I can't tell you how many. I can't tell you how many drugstore makeups are in those TV trailers. Cheap makeup, cheap, all over.
There's actually a lot of actresses or actors who actually prefer going to the drugstore and getting drugstore foundation. You would think that they're going to spend, like you just showed, $70, $100 on foundation. They're like, girl, this is $5.
Everything has its reason. Everything
they
has
have
its
the
place.
reasons why they like it. Like, you know, then you have ones that don't like wearing makeup when they're not on set because they don't want to, or they just, there's a few that say they don't like how it feels, but they wear it because they have to when they're on set. But the minute that they can get it off their face, it's off their face because they just don't like it. Like I don't like wearing, I will wear like eyeshadow and I will wear mascara. That's all you're getting on my face. You're not getting anything else. I don't like no. I don't like it. I don't feel it at all.
I do not wear makeup. I never wore makeup on a TV set. The person who wears makeup on a TV set, like, compromises their sleep, which does not happen. Does not, like, those 20 minutes matter. Like, you are getting bombastic side eye on set if you show up with a full face of makeup. That means you got time to sleep. You ain't got time to sleep. Like, what? No. Full face of makeup. Get out of here. Get out of here. Oh my God.
Well, the magnetic eyelashes, we're good to go. Thanks.
Yep. Mascara at best. Nobody's wearing makeup on a TV set. Nobody.
I told you.
I want to tell you something that there used to be a gym I used to go to, and we would get there at 5. Get to the gym at 5, okay? One lady, full face of makeup, showered, full face of makeup, hair blown out.
Love that for you.
For 5 o'clock in the morning.
Couldn't be me. Would never be me. Love that for you. No.
Like, do you not leave the house without makeup? She's like, never.
No. No, I'm sorry. That's something that you probably need to talk to a therapist about. But that, oh my God, that would be never. That like this is the extent that you get. This I do once a month because my hair is quite curly and has multiple textures in it. This is so I can sleep 20 minutes more.
It helps.
My girls are the same way. They're mixed and they're like, Mom, do my hair so I don't have to get up early. I just have to braid. Do twice, Mom, please. And I'm the mom that had to go to YouTube and I had to learn how to do it because I was not willing to spend $300-400. No disrespect to people that want to. No disrespect. This is just me. I can't afford. I have 2 daughters. I cannot afford to do $600 or $700 for both of them every 6 weeks or whatever it is to go to salon. I learned how to do it myself. We ordered it off of Amazon and I just do it myself.
Yep.
Like all about like $35 for the hair and then another $10 for the gel. We're good to go. Thanks.
Mascara also. Don't ever go to a department store for that. Don't ever.
But I hear Maybelline has like the best mascara regardless.
I use Lash Paradise. There's different, like, mascara's that one thing that, like, they do different things. I like Lash Paradise because you can't, like, you can wear these, but the script has to dictate it. And the script doesn't always dictate, especially with a period piece. Pre-1880s, I'm pretty sure eyelashes were starting to get used at that point. You're not... So, I need mascara that, like, literally does not clump, coat, and not... The most important thing is that the eyelashes don't fall.
Yep.
So that leans more lengthening. It depends, but they do different things, and I definitely say, like, unless don't get waterproof. I don't like. I babysit makeups. Everyone who is an actor who is wearing makeup on set has professionals babysitting their makeup. Waterproof is almost never used. Ever. Because it does not come off. And it rips out eyelashes.
Yeah.
It rips out eyelashes. And they're not, like, at the end of the day, like, because especially with beauty makeups, they'll run with it and, like, wash their face at home, and then they'll lose eyelashes. And no. I don't use waterproof unless we are in a pool scene, unless we are shooting underwater. Very rarely do I use waterproof unless it warrants it. But drugstore. Yes.
Is it no? Drugstores, no, guys. Does anybody else have any more questions?
Yeah. Does anybody else have any questions on my end?
I'm an open book. You guys.
Let's go. Well, she's an open book to a point, guys. She's not dropping names. We've already discussed that. She's under $100 million NDA. She's not dropping names. Well, she might if you give her $200 million.
It's funny.
$100 million to pay for it, and $100 million just
No. You know what's not worth $200 million? My professional integrity, and that's why I'm not under any sort of NDA, so, like, it doesn't matter.
No, I'm just being funny.
It's professional integrity. It's professional. So one major takeaway, and this is a massive misconception. There's one last thing that I can say. If you want to do hair, go to cosmetology school. If you want to do makeup, go to makeup school. Those are 2 different things. They teach you 40 minutes of makeup in cosmetology school. If you want to be a makeup artist, for the love of God, do not go to cosmetology school. Cosmetology school is only for hair. Only for hair. So many people waste so much money on that mistake. It is crazy.
Do your research, guys. Do research. Don't be afraid to email people and ask people. Ask the professionals. They will give you they know. They've been there, done that. They've got the fake certificate to go with it.
Yeah. Be careful with those like classes because they're no.
Yeah, she doesn't want you guys to waste your money. So
Please
thank you so much for everything. You know where to find us if you ever want to come back. You know where to find us if you ever want to come back. All right,
happy to come back.
We will give me a few days to get this edited, and then we will send you the links.
Oh my god! I didn't know that this was gonna be like long form edited. Like, cool! It's so cool! It's so cool!
You're welcome.
All right.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you. It's good to see you.
Bye.